everyone, and welcome to the Ukulele on the Ground podcast. My name is Aldrine Guerrero. Joining me are Mr. Aaron, the voice, Nakamura, all the way over there. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
And Mr. Kahai, the legend Fergan. Say what's up, Kahai, over there.
What's up?
And welcome back. Seems like a ghost. Ghost is here. Grand Master Funk Master Mike Odo. Hey. Also, happy birthday, Mr.
Thank
Odo.
you,
Hey, today, right?
Today.
September 4.
Yes.
Today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
And I would do that. And I would do that for him because of yesterday. But Michael is
Yesterday.
playing skills don't
But
so good.
you know what?
Do you want your present now or later, Mike?
Oh,
I have a present for you.
Let's do it now.
I guess the question would be, how inappropriate
is
is
it
it for me
appropriate
to?
for-
Very.
Happy birthday.
Oh,
He knows. He knows.
Oh.
he knows.
Not sponsored.
Yeah.
The show is
Why
not
do I know
sponsored.
he
but-
knows? Because look what I show up with every week. Thank you. It's actually perfect.
Wow, what a rock star. It's a lot
No,
of
don't
coke.
drink that.
It's a lot of coke.
I couldn't find what is it, like a 6-pack of E2N, so sorry.
All good. All good.
I don't think any place actually sells. Oh no, times.
No, I think
Might be the only place that sells.
Costco has
Costco.
that tray of E2N and stuff. Not that I know or anything. Not that I've bought it before for my. Not like it's at my house currently.
Not that there's 4 of them stacked up in his closet.
So this past weekend, my mom came on Saturday and celebrated my birthday because, and I didn't realize this. I will now be celebrating my birthday September 2 every time because that's my actual birthday. Because I was born in the Philippines.
That's true.
Okay.
So that
Which is a day ahead.
Which is a day ahead. So September 3 in the Philippines is September 2 here in America. So my birthday is actually September 2 American.
Yeah.
Is that?
But
Did your head just explode?
well, yeah, but if
On
you-
my birth certificate, it says September 3.
Yeah.
right. So that was the day.
Yeah, but we're talking technicality. So technically, I was born September 2 because I
For
now
America.
live.
Yeah.
It's American September 2.
Yeah. And Hawaii
And
specifically.
Hawaii
yeah,
specifically.
It's like almost
September
a full
2.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Interesting.
so
I actually
now
have a friend who I
on the
celebrate.
2nd.
I celebrate our birthdays like that.
Oh yeah,
My friend Sayuri, who's a bass player in Japan,
yeah.
her birthday is September 5th. So today.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So right now it's September 5th in
exactly
Japan.
like that.
So
exactly
that's why
like
we
that.
celebrate our birthday like that.
So I got a bunch of messages because like on Saturday, like, you know, I posted stuff on Instagram and my friends who know me, they're like, isn't your birthday like tomorrow? Like, why can't you like celebrate it tomorrow instead? I'm like, no, and then I had to explain. I'm like, oh, okay. That's cool. You just wanted attention, that's what. I'm like, dude, it's my damn birthday. Of course I want attention, Mike.
I get 2 days now.
Like 2 days. Hell yeah. Philippine birthday and my American birthday. See? Hot damn. Now I just need a dual citizenship.
there you
Make everything official. Nope, gave it up. Full American, baby. Yeah, give me that. Give me that normal looking hot dog, and it's not red. The American hot dog, not no red Filipino hot dog.
But those are good.
I was gonna say, it's like when you came here, they're like, here is your hot dog and here is your American flag. Please enjoy.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Only burgers, fries, and hot dogs with pickles and mustard. Nope. I don't know any Filipino person who puts mustard on their hot dog, on the red hot dog. Some people are like, "What is red hot dog?" Yeah, you're not Filipino enough.
Yeah. You know, actually, I don't know. Because to me they taste different, and I just don't think actually would taste.
Oh no, well,
would
red
taste-
hot dog
I
is
don't
just
think- I don't
it's
think
just
it would
all
taste right.
savory, whereas like regular hot dog actually has like, you know, like flavor in it, of like pork and beef or whatever it's made of, shoulders. Anyway, welcome guys. What we do here is it might not sound like it right now, but we answer any and all of your ukulele questions. You give us your Q's and we'll give you some O's, right, Mike? What is an O?
Opinion.
Oh, opinion. Because I don't know, I just don't want to give the wrong answer, and people are like, nope. Here's the keyboard warrior. He's like, nope, that's wrong. Mr. You don't sound anything like Davis Ruffin on your.
And then, but of course, my answer to that would be, well, that's just your opinion, man.
Yeah, you don't sound like you did my girl. You just sound anything like Davis Ruffin does. Yeah, Davis Ruffin. We all know Davis Ruffin from the Temptations. Don't sound anything like that guy, Mike.
No, not even a little.
Yo, fake temps. Fake temps. Don't sound anything like nothing without me.
Nothing without Davis.
Nothing without Davis. Anyway, I hope you guys like that, because we brought it back. We brought back we didn't realize how much you guys missed it. Honestly, like we got a lot of great feedback on the play along that came out, and lesson that came out this past weekend. If you guys haven't seen it yet, My Girl by the Temptations coming out. I apologize in advance if I don't sound like Davis Ruffin
In the comments.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we A your Q's with some O's. That's what we do here. With your UAs, UQs. Your UQs we A your UQs with our O's. Right, Kai?
Sure. I don't know. It's your birthday, yeah.
Hell yeah, you're damn right it is.
Okay.
Who's the greatest, Kai? You. Yes.
Who's the master? Showing off.
So, you haven't been here in a while, Mike. But what happens is I come into the office, and these guys have a burning question for me. Have you seen the
Yes.
So that's totally random. I don't know it until I sit on this chair,
right.
what they're about to ask. They make me go like, oh, well, who are the top 3 whatevers and stuff.
I've
And
been
I'll try to
watching,
answer.
and I assumed that was going to happen as soon as I got here.
So now they have double the double the answers, because there's 2 of us here that don't know what's about to happen. And it's
No. It's we have just a special question just for Mike.
Oh.
Mike, who is the worst jazz player in Hawaii? No.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Don't look at me. I will start naming names.
Do they just show up at your gigs?
We gotta
Wanting to play.
maybe we'll save that right for the open mic later on. The open mic segment. Yeah, we'll save that for
Post show.
Yeah. Weren't you saying somebody who likes to just show up at your? Nah. Okay, all right. So here we go. Let's get started. Kahai.
Okay, last week we asked you about your favorite underrated instrumentals, right? So this week, since we have Mike, we figured that we'll ask you guys, what do you think is an instrumental song that you haven't heard on the ukulele that should be adapted or arranged for the ukulele, or you would want to be?
That I would like to hear on the ukulele.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
And so
Okay, so
I gotta
think about that.
I wanna let our guest go first.
Ooh, I got to think about this because.
No, this is what I do. They ask and then I just answer.
So this is why this is a hard question, because almost all my favorite instrumentals are jazz pieces, but I also know Abe,
And he's
who
done,
has probably
he's
played
done most
who
of
has
them.
played a bunch of them already on the
Yeah.
ukulele.
Yeah.
So
or is there a specific instrumental that you want somebody to arrange, like a specific?
Or
person
maybe Abe played it, but you haven't heard it. So if you haven't heard a version of X song X, then you could list that as.
If you haven't heard it, has it really been done?
Yeah.
okay, he hasn't done this one, and it's interesting because it's a piano piece, but it would actually lay on the ukulele pretty nicely. Children's Song by Chick Corea from Light as a Feather.
Ooh, never heard of it. I've heard of Chick Corea. That's as far as I go.
When you say Chick Corea, I'm like, oh, that's a hard
on
one.
board.
It's definitely piano. Yeah, some keyboard magic in there.
But, or if we wanted to see pyrotechnics, Gotta Match,
Okay.
which is also a Chick Corea song.
Okay.
Yeah. Look both of them up. They're opposite ends of the spectrum. Children's Song is beautiful and melodic, but the way he wrote his melody, it actually would lend itself to like a finger-picked ukulele. Gotta Match is just one of those pieces that like most people just will never be able to play because they just cannot play that fast. For reference, it makes Spain look really easy.
Oh, jeez.
Like that.
Yeah.
So if you've heard Spain, which you have on this channel most likely,
Yeah.
picture a song that's probably about 5 times harder and faster, and that's You Gotta Match.
Yeah. And Spain is a pretty popular ukulele instrumental
Yeah.
song. Especially among the professional ukulele circles.
It was on the Cross Current album by Jake Shimabukuro. Like that, so good. And I mean, and if you just look up any YouTube of Abe playing it, so good.
Yeah.
So good. We can't pat Abe's back enough in this show. Like Abe's back is hurting from all the patting from this show that we've been doing.
I like to think that Abe has never watched a podcast, and one day he'll just binge watch them all, and he'll just like start ticking off like, again they're talking about me.
I mean, I already have my 3, Mike. It's that easy. You want to hear my 3?
Sure.
Bam. In no order.
Okay.
First one, For the Love of God by Steve Vai.
Okay.
Amazing, very melodic song. Like it rivals Europa.
Okay.
It's like, I think it's Steve Vai's Europa. I've tried my hand at it, and like I just can't make it sound as full as Steve Vai does, and it's definitely a challenge. But it's amazing. The melody in that, and it's just, I think the ukulele just doesn't have the same kind of sustain that it would need in order to make that song sound good. But that's a challenge to any and all ukulele players. For the Love of God by Steve Vai.
It would be interesting, however, he plays on an electric, right?
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to know if he's using like a compression sustainer to help get some of that.
I was
and
gonna
if you
say-
were to run it through there, it might actually create some of that.
Do you want an arrangement that is acoustic, like mostly acoustic ukulele, or
Just like how what Jake did to Europa happened to Steve Vai's For the Love of God. Do you know what song I'm talking about, Kai?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that one right there. It's either, like I had a hard time choosing between that and there's this other Steve Vai song that I got. It's eluding my mind right now, but it's kind of that same style. It was in his like Alien Love Secrets like video thing that he did, but I'm gonna go with For the Love of God. I think that one is like every like guitar player that wants to reach that Steve Vai status should know that song.
Okay.
Number 2, Black Sand by Kalapana.
Oh, that is a really
Right?
I'm gonna throw this in right now. That him and Kyle together, because you do have to have the 2 guitar thing for it. That's part of the magic of that song. I think is the dueling guitar sound.
That's true. And I don't care what you said about Kyle. I think he's good.
Kyle has heard.
I think you're great. I don't care what Mike Odo said about
Kyle has heard everything I've ever said about him.
Not a surprise.
I just sat next to him for 3 weeks doing Heathers, man. He's heard every joke I had.
Number 3, a little off the beaten path. Coyote Cafe. Coyote Cafe. Who's Coyote Cafe by? You would. I figured of all people you would know.
I think it's Victor Lopez.
Yeah. And if not that, Cowboys.
Oh,
I would like to hear, because that was what I was trying to do with Bandito Tyler.
Right.
Is basically recreate Cowboys, but in my style. But I would still like to hear Cowboys, like done in ukulele. And I think it could be done.
giant, but like you talking about the giant epic version.
Yeah, like dun, 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 dun,
Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain. There's your challenge. Bam, bam, ba-da-da-da.
I mean, that's just off the cuff.
Yeah.
I think those 3 songs. I think For the Love of God by Steve Vai. I think Black Sand by Kalapana, and I think either Cowboys or Coyote Cafe.
Yeah.
But Coyote Cafe is the more fun one.
Coyote Cafe is.
I think
pretty-
that would make for a really fun ukulele piece. I think Coyote Cafe.
Okay, wait. I didn't realize there were 3. So I'll throw one more, but you would require 3 ukulele players to do this.
What's that?
And they'd all have to be pretty world class. Mediterranean Sundance.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Originally played by Al Di Meola, John McLaughlin, and Paco de Lucia.
Yes.
It's
That's a classic, like what you call like flamenco piece.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
but specifically it's specifically their guitar trio version that they did live. It's just it's one of those things. It's actually interesting. It's not necessarily that hard. Technically, I mean, there's a lot of like fast notes in it, but it's not. But if you watch the live video of them doing it, the stuff they're doing, like just that technical ability, and the one that always really blows people's minds is watching Paco de Lucia play. And if you don't know who that is, he was basically like the world's greatest flamenco guitarist for like about 30 years. And flamenco, you know, like when you watch Al Di Meola or those guys that are using the picks, or when they're doing like the super fast stuff, you kind of associate that with that. But Paco just uses these two fingers.
Yeah, Paco de Lucia is like my favorite. Like him and Savikas are like my two favorite.
And they're just like
flamenco guitar.
just watching them so accurately play these ridiculous runs of notes.
Yeah.
That would be number 3, but I would love to see 3 really good ukulele players try.
One of them would have to be Abe then, right?
I guess so.
Abe. I would elect Rio to be another one of those, the other 3.
But yeah, you need flamenco, so you gotta have like what's his face
Someone
in there.
that-
Yeah, like what's his name? Daniel Ward.
Oh,
it has to have that like
yeah.
that kind of rhythm. Like it has to have that like that style of like that strum.
Yeah.
Now the interesting
You know?
thing is though, you only need one guy like that.
Yeah,
because
that's
that would
why,
be
like,
Paco.
Daniel, yeah.
But you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
that.
Okay.
But like I don't know, for the John Miller, for the Al Di Meola style, actually, I'm just gonna say it. I think this guy could do.
LDG.
I think you could do it, dude. That's similar to like your style ukulele. And Abe would actually be good for the John McLaughlin part because jazz ukulele, like jazz guitarist.
Yeah.
So I think that the 3 complementing but different styles would actually work kind of well for that.
Nice.
Make it happen.
I want to see Black Sand. Like I don't know why no one's done Black Sand yet. Like on the ukulele. Like I would like to see, you know, like Jake and insert name here. No, I mean, I guess I would do it, but I think
you know who would do it, and we could get it done here. If you and Fingers decided you want to try it
Hey,
sometime.
Black Sand. Who are you gonna play sax?
I like.
You need sax, or it doesn't work. It
I
doesn't work.
I love fingers, but I like that we just talked about Kyle. And it's like, you know who else would be not Kyle?
I'm thinking about from the standpoint now though that Fingers plays a steel string electric ukulele.
Oh, okay.
So getting that kind of Les Paul-y, yeah, because getting that thick Les Paul semi-overdriven tone would be very easy for him because pretty much that's just how he plays the whole time.
Yeah.
You
Just
know?
Kyle's over here. I can play too. I can play electric ukulele too.
But yeah, I love that. Like that's. I think Black Sand would be my number 1. That's because it's like. It's not that it's low hanging fruit, but it's low hanging fruit. I feel like why hasn't that been done yet? You know, because it's Kalapana. It's like it's.
I would probably, if I had to take a
local too.
wild guess, it is because
Saxophone.
lack
of saxophone.
Well, if you don't play ukulele, you could play the saxophone.
That's right, I guess
You've
so.
played saxophone more recently than I have. No, I actually think it's because the guitars in the Kalapana thing have such that fat electric overdriven sound that it's pretty hard. You need a fairly not involved pedal board, but you have to do some research to get your ukulele to
You need compressor sustainer. You need an overdrive or a metal zone or any one of those. Then you need that like the wah.
I was gonna say
cranked up
the
to
halfway
in the middle
wah.
halfway wah, baby. That's the secret to getting that that mid tone.
So, which I'm gonna say for most of the ukulele players I know around here, is not something you would normally have in their
in
their
pedal
arsenal.
changer.
They'd have
Yeah.
to get that type of stuff.
But yeah, I think Black Sand. I would love
That is like
to
one of my
see
absolute
that.
top 3 Kalapana songs.
So it's Black Sand, and then For the Love of God, and then Coyote Cafe. I tried Coyote Cafe. That's a fun one.
Yep. And yeah, unless you're like a band nerd, you have no idea what this song is. All right, let's just do it. Let's hear it.
So fun. I'll do it. I'll do Kyoto Cafe, and then everybody else can do the other two. The Kyoto Cafe is the easiest out of the three that needs to be done. That's a fun one.
Whiteboard request.
But by a guy named Ukulele Oversoul. Request.
Hey.
Is there? This is going to be, I think, a little bit of a harder question.
Okay.
Is there, specifically for Mike, is there bass instrumental songs that you want to see being played on ukulele? And I would even open it up to like maybe bass solos that you would want to see being played on ukulele?
Absolutely. I know the first one because this would be incredibly difficult for anybody to pull off on ukulele. And if one could, there'd be a lot of that. Portrait of Tracy, Jaco Pastorius. If anybody could play that on ukulele, that would be incredible because it is 50% harmonics.
I thought you were gonna say, speaking of harmonics, like "Amazing Grace" by
Victor Wooten's
Victor Wooten. Yeah.
So Portrait of Tracy was basically the song that created that entire genre. Because prior to Jaco's debut album, people basically used harmonics for one thing: tuning the instrument. And he was the first guy on record
to use it as
for
melody.
bass, especially to like make the whole melody based around the harmonic side, with just the backup being the fretted notes.
Yeah. Because as soon as I heard like that version of "Amazing Grace" by Victor Wooten, I'm like, whoa, the bass rocks, kind of. And I always just thought bass was like, I guess make boom, Seth boom, play bass in my Pulitting days, like because Seth, and he'll admit to this, is not a very good strummer, and he's like, nah, just maybe play bass. That seems simple enough. Or like just do that. That's what people who can't strum do, right? Like, that's my mentality when I was in high school. Do not think that now at all.
Yeah. But that's what
clear.
Like Keneal was talking about, because when he was getting started and he was playing bass and he was doing the local music, Hawaiian and stuff like that. And then it was that video I brought into David Conrad's room. It was Bass Day 98 from the Bass Collective in New York, where he saw guys like Victor Wooten and guys like that play for the first time. Yeah. And he was just like, how does that... There was that one, and it was watching Michael Manring play My Three Moons, which is a solo piece that he plays on 4 different basses, where he's playing them like pianos. And he looked at it like, and most of the other kids in that class were like, "Wow, that's really impressive." But being that he played the instrument, he looked at it like, "How is that even a thing?" Like, and that and it's true. I mean, if you grow up here. The prevailing music is that groove. It's groove music.
Very.
So that whole idea of having like this. Yeah. So the thought of like this really intricate soloistic music just doesn't as much have a place, I guess, in the music we do here. But for those people who know it, So Portrait of Tracy.
I have an equivalence of not like Portrait of Tracy or anything, but like Bass Day. Like the video of Bass Day. I first watched the first G3 DVD, which was like Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, and Eric Johnson, and it's like that. Like
that's a song too, which I've never. That I've never heard anybody do.
Like, that was close. That was close to being.
I would love to see someone do Cliffs of Dover.
Like Cliffs of Dover and Manhattan are like the 2 best like Eric Johnson songs. I feel like you should do. And I think Steve Vai played one where like the Boy from Seattle or something, which is like a tribute to Jimi Hendrix. Like that was another good one that I was kind of thinking of, but.
Speaking of good bass players, that was Steve Vai's player. Stu Ham.
Yeah.
He's the one who will get up and play like the Moonlight Sonata.
Yeah, crazy.
Tapped on bass. Oh,
But the first G3, like I watched that DVD and was just like, was blown away by like the things that you could do. Because I mean, I just like with Kaniho, like I lived here in Hawaii and I didn't know like what electric guitars could do and stuff. I didn't grow up in like that classic rock or like that era of like, Jimmy Page or whatever, and then Jimi Hendrix. And I was aware of Jimi Hendrix, but until I saw Steve Vai and he played For the Love of God, and at the end of For the Love of God, he was just like, it was just like keyboard like playing an ominous chord and like and I guess like some cymbals, and he was doing like his pedal work and it sounded like children crying. I was like, what is happening? What is that pedal? Does Boss sell a child's cry pedal? Like, how does he do that? And it was insane. Like and I remember just like that was the catalyst for me, and I remember investing in a bunch of pedals for like my ukulele because I wanted to create those kinds of.
What is he doing?
Yeah. So I came up with the with like the cell phone trick, like with the delays on it and stuff. Like I did all this experimentation with my ukulele because I watched G3, and it was. So if you guys can find that, good stuff.
Wasn't incredible.
Yeah.
There was a bass version of that too.
Oh yeah.
Called B3.
Oh, hey,
and it was
B3.
Jeff Berlin.
Yeah.
Billy Sheehan, and I forget who the third guy was. But I like all three, like really amazing, but all very different. Like Billy Sheehan is like straight rocker. Oh, Stu Ham. Stu Ham was the third one.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, so you had
that makes sense.
Steve Vai's bass player,
Yeah.
plus David Lee Roth's bass player. Plus Jeff Berlin, who's just been notorious as like one of the best fusion jazz bass players ever. And they would do the same thing.
Sick.
Funny enough, though,
I gotta find that.
out of all that,
Yeah.
and you're talking about these guys who do it, like, if anybody knows the song Addicted to That Rush, look that one up. It's like one of those super crazy, fast, shreddy songs. But you know what their finale song every night was? Big Bottom by Spinal Tap. They thought it would be the funniest.
That makes sense.
3 bass players.
Big bottoms. Yeah. But like I remember the G3. That was the original. I mean, I don't know if it's the original trio, but that was the original DVD, the first DVD.
I think it was the original DVD.
And then there's another one where they replaced Eric Johnson, which I thought was my favorite part of that whole show. They replaced him with Yngwie Malmsteen.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like. And it blew my mind. And then I'm like, have you guys heard of this guy, Yngwie Malmsteen? They're like, I hate that guy. Everyone that I talked to, they're like, yeah, I hate that guy. I was like, what? He's amazing. He does his classical runs on his guitars. It's so cool. They're like, no, that guy's not so cool. You
can't have.
Do you like Yngwie? See, it's always the same.
So here's my thing.
Yeah.
Yngwie's personality turns a lot of people off. Because he is kind of
like VC.
Yes. Yes.
I don't want to name names.
Yeah.
Like VC.
Yes, exactly. But I have no personal. I've never personally met Yngwie Malmsteen. I have met VC. And then I think a lot of people's issue with Yngwie Malmsteen's playing is the same problem they have with guys like Robert Fripp from King Crimson.
I was like, just go fast.
Well, it's they feel like because their music is so technically advanced, they are like, oh, it doesn't have an emotion or it doesn't have this. And it's like, well, I don't think that's really true. Because if you look at any of like the really good progressive bands, say like Rush or guys like that, yeah, the music is incredibly technically complicated. So yes, maybe you don't have just like screaming long notes like a Steve Vai would do. But at the same time, it's like, that's a lot. You have to have a lot of passion to spend the time to work something like that out. Because anybody's ever tried to learn any Rush songs or a King Crimson song or a Gentle Giant song, those are really Dream Theater in modern day. You know, a lot of people accuse Dream Theater of being like a passionless type of band because they're so technical. It's like, but that is their passion. Their passion is that complexity. They find the joy in figuring out how all the parts work.
Would you say that about Polyphia now? Or it's too complicated?
Polyphia?
Yeah.
No.
Not too complicated for you?
Dude, my favorite band is like the Chicory Electric Band.
guess
Trust
so,
me,
I guess
nothing
so.
is that complicated next to those guys.
I've listened to Polyphia before, but I was telling Kahai that like when did Tim Henson get so pretty? When did Tim Henson get extremely pretty? Because now I'm like, you got my attention. You're just like the prettiest dude I've ever seen.
Beautiful man.
What a beautiful man. And I'm like, I'm distracted because he plays guitar really well. But I'm like, look at his face though. He's so pretty.
You like them tattoo boys, huh?
I guess,
Like them ink.
hot dang.
You know who does play very similar music that I really like? Yvette Young.
Okay.
Yvette, oh yeah, guys, yeah, she's. I didn't know who she was, and then Rob Scall and Andrew Huang did a video where they. It was an interesting challenge. So they each took the other's guitar, tuned it however they wanted, and then they had an hour to write a song with that tuning.
Oh yeah.
And
I've
he
seen
used-
that series.
Yeah, and he used Yvette Young's tuning, and it was like super beautiful.
Nice.
It was like, was it Rob for Andrew?
Rob tuned Andrew's guitar like that.
And then
Andrew did the one where he actually made the second to last string higher than the last string.
yeah, he was just like this and like a little bit of this and then that. Okay, here you go. Like this.
And he was like, I really want to make one string higher than the one after it.
All right, so with those
ukulele.
answers, yeah, that's all. I have to shift over because I gotta get rid of the guitar and bass talk. And were those answers satisfactory, gentlemen?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
I would just say all of these can be translated onto the ukulele, or it's your challenge to find out if they can.
All right. So,
back to the ukulele.
any questions from the audience?
Yeah. So Jim
Yes.
said, "What key do you play Misty in? It's original in E flat, or do you think transposing it to F would kill the tune?"
I think it is an F. The ukulele version is an F.
Or I guess he means the original like recording.
Oh
of
yeah, the
Misty.
original recording is in E flat, or at least the Johnny Mathis one that I'm familiar with.
The Errol Garner original. is
Errol
E
Garner.
flat.
Yeah.
The pianist. I think I don't know. There's two like schools of thought about that. There are some people who believe the key of a song is also interconnected with it. A guy who thought like that was, say, Jack Bruce of Cream. That's why when Cream reunited in like 2005, even though he was also like 75 years old,
He still played in same
he
key.
still played it all in the keys he played.
There
in
is
the
to
60s.
that, like, because but it depends on the instrument too. Because
Yeah.
I feel that like Europa, for example, like in guitar, it's in I believe C minor. Well, which is great. Like that sounds like that would be the key for for guitar. And then ukulele wise, when Jake did it, he did in D minor, which is a step up, right? Which makes sense because the ukulele is higher. But then you got someone like Herb Walter Jr. who did it in A minor, which like utilizes more of like the open strings and stuff. I'm like, that is the key, like that Europa should be in. But it's like 3 different takes, but I do get it because if you play something like Blackbird, for example, in a different key, doesn't sound anything like
Right.
doesn't sound right. But there are some songs, like if you were to translate it to a different instrument, it definitely has to work in
Right.
like in a different key.
I think for my rule is always leave it to the vocalist, whatever key you, because it's easy to say
guess
as
so.
an instrumentalist, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, we should play it in the original. But if they're like, can you play it a half step down? It's just like, just play it a half step down. Like, make it easy for them guys.
No.
Yeah, Mrs.
I-
F.
And yeah, I mean, there's obviously more so than most other instruments. Vocalists are the ones who are going to have a limit to the outer reaches of where they can sing, and you don't want to be like, no, it has to be in this key because it's the original. It's like, cool, I can't sing the last 3 notes on the top.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
However, so the other mentality though is, since Misty is a jazz song, for decades the prevailing wisdom was learn how to play every song in every key. You know what I mean? Because it
never know
wasn't
when a
and it
singer's
wasn't
gonna
ju- and it wasn't just about vocalists. It could just be like, because so band instruments, if you don't know, are transposing, which means that what you see on a paper is not what actually comes out of the horn. So a trumpet is a B flat instrument, which means that whatever you read on the paper is actually a whole step higher than the note would be if you match it on a piano. So a C on a trumpet, what they think of as C, is actually a B flat on the piano. So for some people, they may move it because it moves the range of the song, or it moves the chords, the particular chord structure they're using, into a place that is easier to improvise on. And that's why most people might change the key of a song in an instrumental version. They're just like, they might just be like, why do I want to solo an F sharp?
That's just like I said. It depends on the instrument.
Depends on
sometimes.
the person,
Yeah. So in the case that I brought up, like if it's a high G ukulele, then like a D minor would work. But if low G, like how like Herb Walter Jr. did it, works in A minor. So it just really depends on the instrument, because they both work for ukulele, but
and certain chords too, because obviously there's certain chords and chord voicings that might be fairly difficult or impossible in a certain key.
Yeah, on a certain instrument.
Yeah. So if you change the key, then that voicing might actually become possible.
Yeah.
I've heard of like jazz clubs in New York, and people who go there and then they're jamming and stuff, and then they're like, oh, play this song, and they have to they're like, okay, it's like from the original, like they know the original key and they play it like that. And if they play it in a different key, they're like, ooh, you play it in that key?
Ew.
Oh.
Ew, you play it lower.
Oh, the one they'll do it to people all the time is Autumn Leaves. The song Autumn Leaves. The original is actually G, but if you read it in the real book, it's in E, I think. I
thought it was A minor.
Maybe I can't remember. I haven't looked in the real book.
And so if you play
so what they would do is, let's play Autumn Leaves. Okay, what key do you want to do it in? The usual
the
one.
original, yeah.
No, they won't say the original.
Or the usual.
The usual one.
So you have to be ready for either.
Well, it's a test to see if
which book you're reading from.
which book were you reading from, or did you learn it from the record? Because if you learn it from the Miles Davis record, it would be key of G. But if you learn it out of the real book, it'd be the other key, E or A or whichever one that is.
Oh yeah, I guess it is G, because the first chord is A minor, but it's a 2-5-1 that ends in the G. So the one that I'm thinking, I guess Miles Davis.
So then that's what would happen though, because then they're like, if you start in the wrong key, if you start in the real book key, they're like, you don't know.
You're a phony.
Snobbery.
Oh,
phony.
There's real book. There's clubs in New York, all over the place. There's clubs that if you show up with a real book, they don't even let you play.
Get out of here. Get out of here with that.
So have you experienced that, like the kind of musical snobbery of like, you gotta know this and
being
this
vibed? Yeah, everybody has. Admit it's not as prominent as it used to be. If I had started playing in like the 70s, 60s, something like that, oh yeah, that would have been everywhere.
Yo, I have been part of music snobbery. Like I am a music snob kind of. And I'll explain why. And a lot of this is probably gonna be the thing that people are gonna take out of context or take out of this podcast.
Cancel.
Man, Aldrine hates these kind of guys.
You heard it here. Aldrine is gatekeeping.
Put it as a clip on Instagram.
Here it is. I am elitist towards, just like you said, when you come in and you have a real book and you're gonna play with a book or you're gonna play with anything on stage, I am against that. Unless you're playing in a band or like in a symphonic band where you need music, because it's like pages upon pages and pages of music you have to memorize and stuff. But if say you're like you're a musician playing playing your guitar, playing like a bar, playing a whatever, I am a snob to I don't like seeing music. I don't like seeing like iPhones, iPads and stuff that you would read stuff like to play your music, because I feel that like, I don't know, like if I just
if you're part of like an ukulele club and then
then you have your music, totally fine.
But if you're going and that's your gig at that restaurant or whatever,
it just it means like you don't really know your music that much. I see. This is the stuff that people are gonna take out of context. But like for me, if you're performing, say like. Yeah, if I go to Rob's or something, and then like the musician there is jamming their song and stuff, and then there's like there's a music stand or an iPad or whatever like in front of them, they're reading it rather than performing. I as a audience member, I'm a little turned off. You know what I mean? Like,
or just
why are you quiet? Are you,
it's really prevalent. It's prevalent now. So
very, very common nowadays. But I guess like. Because I'm no longer part of like the new school of of musicians coming out. I'm very old school in that way that like, I don't know, just get the song down and that's what you play at the gig. Like don't play songs that you're like like you're not that familiar with or whatever, that you need lyrics for it and stuff like that just seems a little unprofessional. But apples and oranges for everybody. And there is definitely a time and place for music, to be there when you're performing. But especially if you're performing as a solo, like you should just know the songs that you play. If you're playing with other people, maybe like you're trying to mesh stuff, so like every person kind of needs to know like what version of the song or whatever. In that case, fake books and whatever.
I think the other thing the other time where it's like I would be like, oh yeah, it's okay, is like if you're a wedding player and then like people just come up to you and make random requests. Yeah. And it's like, oh, I know that song, but I'm not super familiar with it, but we can pull it up real quick.
That's another one. Like if you're a wedding musician, yes. Because like people ask for requests all the time. Like
sometimes they're ridiculous ones.
Yeah. So if you're a wedding musician, but that's usually like, you have like a wedding band and stuff, and you have your music in front of you, totally fine, because that's the that's the situation. But say like there's like the county fair that that we got invited to or whatever, playing the county fair, and they're like, oh, play like an hour set.
You
so
should
it's like
know
you should know your hour set.
Yeah.
Like don't have your iPhones, your iPads or whatever for that hour set. I would even say like maybe like if you're playing at a bar and somebody asks for something like that, I can understand that. But if you're playing we want you to play an hour set for this event. Yeah. You're not gonna get requests. Like learn that hour set. Like, and I don't want to see iPads. I don't want to see iPhones and stuff. If I'm like an audience member watch, it takes me out of it, kind of thing. Like, because for me, like, and me and Aaron were just talking about this. You could be like the best musician technically, and you could be really, really, really good. But if the entertainment is not as if the entertainment level is not as high as your actual level, that's where it's at. That's where your level's at. It's as good as your entertainment level. And for me, it's just it takes off points or entertainment wise if there's like music in front of you.
Now,
yeah.
Now I feel like, okay, Mike, now tell Aldrine why he's wrong.
You can. And like I said, it's it's an opinion. These are my O's. I just personally like if I'm if I'm an audience member and I'm watching somebody like perform, or say like on tour, like we go on tour, me, Aaron, Canillo goes on tour. We have we have 3 shows this week that we're doing, and each one of them are like about hour and a half shows. Would people like it if on my mic stand I had like lyrics and stuff? I don't think so, right?
Okay, so
you tell me.
Well, here, okay, so there's one big giant difference here, is that you and me stand in very different places on the stage.
Okay.
So I usually get called to sub for people.
Yeah.
I think that's acceptable.
Those are the acceptable.
So
if
I'm
not part
subbing
of that
for somebody,
band,
so if I'm subbing for somebody, I will bring stuff, because I would rather be able to glance down at a piece of paper or an iPad that tells me what I'm supposed to be doing than just
mess it up.
blow a whole song.
I get that.
Now,
I can understand that.
I do agree that the front guy, and here's the thing, as long as it's not egregiously, like if they're this the whole time, I would have an issue with that too. But we all have brain farts. So if they just pull it up and it's right there, and like 99% of the song, they're like looking, they're making eye contact, and all of a sudden like, oh my God, what is the first word of the second verse? And they go like that real quick.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with that. And as a backup guy, and the thing is, like, usually if I'm playing for somebody, I'm like 30 rows back. And so if I have my stand over here and I'm playing, nobody's really looking at me anyway. I'm a bass player. Nobody's looking at me.
If, say, you were part of our band, like going and playing and stuff, I would be like, no. As like the group leader, as the band leader, I'd be like, no, put that away. Like, just learn the music, and we're gonna play this show. Like, I don't care where you are on the stage. If you're playing for my band, you don't have music.
Well, though, that's changing the thing. Because if I was part of your band, that's what I agree.
We
would actually have rehearsals. We would work together, like come up with the arrangement, the whole thing like that. if I'm subbing in your band, like
Yeah, yeah.
whoever you got can't make it,
Yeah.
and I have 3 days to come up with your 2 hours, sorry, I'm going to bring something so I don't.
Put it on the ground.
Put it on the ground,
Put it on the ground.
on a piece of paper.
Put it on the ground. On the ground.
Yeah.
Put it on the ground. Like if that's for me and that's for my band and you're subbing and the person can't make it and stuff, put it on the ground. Like, here are the chords for this song. I don't mind that.
Okay.
I don't mind that because that is not as distracting to the audience. Like if it's on the ground, if like because Aaron did that for a couple years, right? Like
In the beginning,
in the beginning,
the very beginning,
I don't mind that, but having having the stand there and you're kind of doing this and stuff, that I do have a problem with. So it's like put it on the ground. Yeah,
As
if
long
it was
as-
for my band.
Yeah. Well, if it can just be there.
Yeah.
Because see, the thing is, by that point, yes, there's probably going to be a good majority of it that I don't need it for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And plus, we don't play like hard jazz or anything. We play like 4-chord songs. Like just like, these are the 4 chords to this song.
Like-
is it too hard for you? For me to ask you to remember these 4 chords? And I'm just saying, like not you.
No,
I'm just.
but like what I would actually do then is I would just have the names of all the songs and like the first chord.
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah,
if it's
right.
4 chords, like what are the 4
Yes.
chords? That's all I would need.
Yeah.
Because
If you can
sometimes
have that on the ground, it's
I
fine.
could just look at that and go
Yeah.
like, okay, that's what it is.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Now,
I would benefit from that now.
now there are a couple. There are different bands where like my jazz quintet. Yes,
Yeah.
we have stands and music because a lot of stuff we play is
Yeah,
fairly
there's a lot of different
fairly
changes and stuff, and
complicated.
I get that, but like you know, but
So it kind of depends on like the musical situation you're in too.
'Cause-
yeah.
You know,
Because even if you were like, say, subbing for like a musical or something, right? Then you're not the focus of the musical, right?
well,
like
but if you're doing a musical, like not like a Broadway type musical, it's the exact like there's a book. And it is you need to play exactly what's in the book. Like there is no improv, there's no messing around with it. Because in a Broadway type show or a production show, let's put it that way, a production show, everything fits, like the cogs all have to fit together.
Yeah.
And the bigger the production becomes, the more so. Because like on Broadway, when you hear a drummer crash a cymbal, there's a reason for that. That usually means that somebody's like throwing a dance kick on stage. So if that crash isn't there, then all of a sudden that dance
Kick is not
movement
as,
loses its, its
but
oomph.
that's it. And I think I'm really only referring to like professional musicians. But like if you go say like an open mic and stuff, and it's your first time, but I'm talking to professional musicians only. Like if you're a professional musician and you're supposed to play like 30 minutes, a 30-minute set, there's no
your
excuse
gig.
for your gig to to not know the chords to a 30-minute set, right? Would you agree?
No, I'd agree with that.
So, and even like an hour set and whatever. But in an hour set, if you're like, just have it on the ground, totally fine. But like the music in front takes me out as a audience member of your of the performance, because it's about the performance. I don't care if if you mess up or if you're not playing as good or you're not the best technical player and stuff. But if I'm entertained. That's what matters. And for me, like having this thing in front of you is not entertaining. I don't know. That's just me.
I think the main point is that you're thinking about the audience.
Yes,
right? A good musician or a good performer is thinking about what is best for the audience's experience.
Yeah.
And so like in a jazz band, like you want to have everything lined up, and so I don't think it takes away from
I just think in an instrumental band of that nature, people are just expecting to see it half the time.
Yeah.
But and don't get me wrong, there's plenty of songs that we just have memorized. But there's ones that have like, okay, A section, and then goes into this modulation, which goes to B section, which goes like, there's definitely ones where it was like, we're probably not all going to remember to do it.
It can also be like where you guys know the song, but then somebody in the band just says like, hey, why don't we switch it up for this measure or something?
That happens a lot,
cut it
too.
off or write notes too.
Some extra notes. Or
Okay,
whatever.
so I want to answer more questions. That was the one, I guess I got carried away.
Sorry.
Like, I do have to put this out there. That I have very strong feelings about that. All right, Guy, next question.
Yeah, this one is from Andre, and let me get it.
Andre. Andre.
Yeah. Okay.
Depends
Do
on
you
which
have
hemisphere.
a specific tip for ukulele bass up to about $300? My goal is to accompany simple instrumental ukulele and guitar pieces via a looper.
Bass player.
I mean, any of the lower end, the
Yeah.
journeyman Kala U basses would do just fine. I
Yeah.
think they'll start at about 2, and then go. I can't remember the name of it. The Scout, I think it's called, which is the one I have. And then there's the up to the journeyman, which is the one with the F holes like a violin.
Yeah.
And that usually comes in right around like 3. Any of those would work great.
Yeah, I think if you expand your budget to 400, you have a lot more access to
Oh, yeah,
to
for
better
sure.
stuff than 300. Because at 300, meaning it has to be like 250.
Right. So with
You know what I
taxes
mean?
and everything.
Like with taxes and whatever. But if you extend it out to 400, then you can get a $300 bass.
Oh, yeah.
You know, $350.
If you and if you're getting into that range, then you're getting close to the ones that have like solid tops.
Yeah, that's why.
And-
like
and
I
stuff
think
like that.
at 400, you would have you'd have better choices.
If this is their first ukulele bass, should they try and maybe save up for that amount, or should they maybe go for a cheaper U bass just to see and get the feeling of what a U bass is?
I mean, my experience with like the cheaper ones, like the Donners and stuff like that. I mean, they're actually not that bad. I mean, that's one really awesome thing about the era we're living in is that the cheap instruments
Yeah.
are cheap
Yeah.
is not equivalent to
Yeah.
crap anymore. Because it used to be like when I grew up, when he grew up, if you had a $75 ukulele, it was usually not that good.
No, I talked about this before. Where like I had a $40 prelude.
Yeah.
That $40 prelude, and nowadays like the beginner, less than $100 like Macalas and stuff, way better than the $40
Yeah,
prelude
yeah.
that I've had.
Like, it
And
worked.
Yeah,
But-
it worked. But if I could have like if I had
Intonation
one of
wasn't the
those,
greatest,
like,
but-
hot dang, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I would be the coolest kid in school. I think.
Oh yeah, and that's one awesome thing. So it's obviously better to buy a quality instrument from a reputable company for sure. But if you have the opportunity to try out some of the lesser named ones, it's not going to hurt you to try. Like the Donner company is the one that comes to my mind because right now they're pretty much like that one low end company that makes everything. You want a Donner.
It's like the
bass?
first thing on Amazon.
Yeah, you want a Donner, ook? Yeah. You want a ook bass? Yeah. You want a guitar? Yeah. You want a saxophone? Yeah. You want a drum set? They got those too. But in general, the ones I've seen have all been like fairly good.
Because I think you kind of have to be like at least decent to sell any at this point. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause
Yeah.
there's so much people trying to sell stuff at that price point that like you have to be at least playable.
Yeah.
In order to compete. Because
It's
no
very
one's- no
because
one's
you
gonna-
get known very quickly
yeah.
for making
Competition
junk.
is good in this case. Like that so much so much companies and so much different ukulele makers are making low end or
Entry-
I guess
entry
entry
level.
level
Yeah.
economic kind of ukuleles and stuff. I think it's good that that the quality has been going up because of it.
Yeah.
Okay, next guy.
Oh well, Jim kind of offered this as a
We're gonna put Jim one more time on the thing. Put a lot of attention to Jim today.
he said
Every week, it's always Jim and his questions.
he said, I recently heard a uke player with a pedal that effectively dropped the pitch of the ukulele to create his bass. He was also using it as part of the loop, and the pedal was also a loop.
Yeah, there's like what you call the Octaver.
Octave.
Yeah, it's
Boss,
just an Octaver.
it's the Boss. Well, Boss makes one. That's a famous one.
Yeah.
It's the OC2, which is what everybody used back in the 80s because the technology actually wasn't as good. Your synthesized octave sounded like a synth bass,
Oh,
so
okay.
everybody loved it for that.
Oh, nice.
I have an OC3, I think. So, but it's a great. So nowadays the octavers used to just be like one octave below. Now it's like an octave and 2 octaves below, and some of them do like an octave up.
Yeah, you
or
can
you could do one like
choose.
the Electroharmonics POG, which allows you to do like 1 octave down, 2 octave down, and then 1 octave up, 2 octave up, and you can do them all at once. If
Yeah,
you
you
want.
can and that's actually Jake used that for Kavika, like his recording Kavika
okay.
as an octaver. So he said he kind of liked how it sounded. He did like I think one like lower and then one higher and then one like regular, so that like that kind of layered it. So when he did it, he's like, oh, it sounds more like kind of like Jimmy Page-ish, like that kind of guitar, like electric guitar playing, because he added the distortion to it,
Right.
that the end solo to Kavika. So that's like an example of
Well,
that.
there's actually a couple companies that make a specific combo of that, like octave distortion.
Nice. But yeah, Octaver, Jim.
If
Next.
you're getting an Octaver though, do you have to get one that can go pretty low? Because like if you get the one that can just use most by guitar to drop down to the bass, if you use it on a uke, will it only drop down like
It drops
the-
one
to the
octave,
guitar.
but if
Yeah.
you get like a standard Boss nowadays, it'll drop 2.
have more options? Like it should be
So-
able to.
Yeah, like if you get an old one, like an OC2 octaver, it's just 1 octave. So from a guitarist perspective, yes, it puts you in bass guitar range. For ukulele, maybe the one that has
guitar
2 octaves down, and then you are still gonna play kind of high up on the neck, and that'll put you probably in around mid bass guitar range.
Yeah. So that next.
This is a pretty specific question by what is a Kamako fan. They said, "Have any of you heard of the song called Little Root Town from Pokemon? I'm trying to play it on the ukulele, but I'm having trouble with the
This
accompaniment. Any help would be amazing."
Little Root, I'm guessing that's what, like gold and silver, or
I can't
see the
recall.
gold, silver, crystal, or the one after that, which I guess would be sapphire, emerald, ruby. I'm not sure. It might be sapphire, emerald, ruby. I haven't done. I'm like a red and blue guy. I know it sounds like super, like I only like the original 150, but yeah, it's after that. Like,
Oh, you're playing that Pokemon
Like
song in
that
that key?
Pokemon?
Oh, get out
No.
of here.
Oh my god!
I can.
Classic only.
I don't know it off the top of my head. If I heard it, I could probably figure it out and stuff, which is a great, like a great way of kind of saying, hey, private lessons, UU plus, we can figure it out together.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips though in general for like when you arrange video game songs for ukulele?
Yeah, like just put aside a lot of time to listen to that song over and over. No, with any song that you want to figure out by ear, like really just to figure out the key is the first thing that you want to do. You just feel around and like seriously do this, and see what note sounds good, what note doesn't sound good, and that should point you to the right direction of what key it's in. Once you get to to the part where like what key it's in, then it's all a matter of like, does it sound higher or does it sound lower, and you just got to take it note for note. I know some people like probably think that there's some weird shortcut or secret to doing that, but that's it. It's about like figuring out the key and figuring out if it sounds high or low. And just like music and melodies in general, you can pretty much tell if it's going high or like da 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 da, like that ba 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 ba. Like you can kind of hear if it goes higher or lower. And if you know the key, then it makes it that much easier for you to know like what notes are being played, because you know what notes in sequence matches with that key. And and you can hear if it's a big drop, if it's gonna go low, if it's a big drop going low, or if it's just like a step down or a half a step down, if it's going high or low. It's pretty, it gets easier the more you do it, but it definitely takes a lot of work when you first try it out. But with anything, you just kind of keep doing it and the better you'll get. So you guys will see like the challenge, the ukulele challenge that we used to do. It's exactly that. There was no secret or shortcut for me doing that, right? It was just me trying to like figure out what key it was, and once I figured out the key, then try to come up with the melody line based on if I hear it go higher or lower. There's no secret or shortcut. If there is, I would like to know, because I've been doing it the slow way apparently.
Well,
Yeah.
I think a lot of what that question entails
Yeah.
is that when someone comes into this world
Yeah.
and then watches something
Yeah,
you've done,
yeah.
it's like how to get from there to there
Yeah.
seems like
Yeah.
jumping over a mountain.
But that's
But then it's
playing ukulele in general.
Yeah,
feels like that.
and then there is a shortcut.
Yeah.
Do it so much you just get good at it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not a shortcut at all.
Yeah, but it is, and it's not. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like you would be able to do it if I played you something you've never heard before. You'd be
Yeah.
able to do that much faster. But that's also because you've done it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So you also know all the stepping stones
Yeah.
to do, and also which ones to skip over.
Yeah.
What you
Yeah,
don't
like-
want to do.
I mean, I know this is a terrible example because I myself have never done this and stuff, but it, you know, like I would assume, Aaron, if you're training for a marathon, like we all know how to run, right? Like it's running is not like, you know how to run, but knowing how to run properly, like to do the marathon, you kind of have to just practice doing it right,
Yeah.
right? Just like, same thing.
And
Yeah.
and have a plan.
Yeah, and have a plan.
Yeah.
Kind of like, do you have a plan? You know, you have to come up with the
pace.
Like you have to come up with, you know, with the with the key, the melody. It's like that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't just go and be blind the whole time, like with each note. You know, that's going there with no plan.
Right.
But if you come up with a plan, that's the plan. Still super slow. You know, just like if I were to, you know, like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, my goal is by this time next year I'm gonna run a marathon or whatever. Then I would start now. I would just kind of, you know, keep doing it, keep at it until like I can confidently run a marathon or confidently run at least half of one. You know, like I mean,
And a
like,
12-month plan. Like,
Yeah,
where do you want to be
exactly.
at 11 months? Where
So
do you wanna
that's
be
the
at
same
10?
thing. You know, you want to be familiar with keys. You want to be familiar with, you know, with scales and stuff like that, like minor scales, major scales, just easy ones. You know, you don't need like some crazy like Arabic like scales, or Arabic scales or whatever. You don't need that for now. You know. Yeah, I know. Hey, what's up with the sharp 7? Why would you on a minor scale? Is that a harmonic minor? A sharp
Harmonic
7?
minor.
Hot dang, you know.
I always refer to that as the Aladdin scale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so cool. But it's stuff like that where like just work at it, and the more you do it, the better you'll get. But you won't reach that goal unless you just go and try.
Yeah.
Like just like playing your E chord, and I mentioned that on the Friday jam.
I think Mike said like you find shortcuts. And I guess it is like kind of like shortcuts, but I also think it's like you just become more efficient, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
that's
less
it.
time,
That's it.
like just picking out individual notes, and you're like, well, I can kind of guess from this point
Yeah.
that it's in this key, so it's
Yeah.
pretty easy to just like
Plus,
narrow
you'll
it down.
you'll develop like a relative ear. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like where you can hear a note, and relative to your instrument and relative to like what you've heard before, you can kind of get pretty close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I have. I don't have like a perfect pitch or whatever. I have relative pitch. I'll hear something, and because I've done it so much, like those like stories of myself like locking myself in my room for like 6-7 hours are not are not fake. Those are real stories. So because of that, I heard notes like over and over for hours. So I have relative pitch, and it's easier.
And in
because
school,
I have it now.
that's kind of what they teach you
Yeah.
because for most people, perfect pitch is either you have it or you don't.
Yeah.
So what do you do for the rest of us? And that's what they teach you
relative.
in music school is, okay, so here's a note.
Yeah.
Here are the intervals. Is it a second, a third, fourth, whatever, and then go from there. But if you have that, then you can kind of find anything from anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can always work your way to the notes you need.
That's yeah. And then like you know our friends Emily and Kyle. Emily has perfect pitch, but I know like we've talking to them before.
Yeah.
They'll say like, oh, sometimes like a song is playing, and Emily can tell you exactly what notes are playing. But Kyle will sometimes be faster with just like, oh, this is a C minor 7 chord or something. He's more familiar with like, all together the notes make this.
Yeah,
chord.
because he's come across it so much times. But
Well, and it's
that's
also
it.
Emily. So a perfect pitch person is going to hear the components, whereas Kyle will hear the like it's like painting.
Yeah.
Emily will see all the colors very specifically, but Kyle will see the painting.
the like bigger picture,
That's a good
and
way
then
of putting
like,
it.
yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Related to that question, like in the meantime, do we have any Pokemon songs that he can learn?
Yeah, Pallet Town. There's Pallet Town. That's available on UU Plus.
So, ukuleleontheground.com.
Kai is on it. Yeah, ukuleleontheground.com.
I guess we have Peloton, and we also have a couple Super Mario Bros. Songs. And
Yeah, we also have
Bunch
the
of video game
what you
songs.
call the Pokemon Center. We
Yeah,
have
yeah,
that as well.
that's
You know,
true.
that's That's fun. Yeah, I think we have. Do we have Route One? Route One is another
No,
fun
we don't
one.
have Route 1.
We do if you book a private lesson, because this guy knows Route One.
Okay, you looked at me.
Yeah.
You snapped your fingers. You thought of something?
Oh, I was gonna test your relative pitch.
Oh my god.
Or like what is the interval of?
That's a fourth.
Because
That was the warm up.
Yeah,
That's the
So I'm like,
octave
you should
fourth.
know. You should know this.
Then down a half step.
Yeah.
And then followed by number 19.
That's right. Number 19.
I was about to say, please. I just spent 4 days at band camp. My ears are.
That's right. My ears are primo, champ.
No.
Oh, your ears are broken.
It's 4 days of drumline, dude.
Oh.
All right, let's do a couple more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. If you already completed Palatine, that means you're already a UE Plus member, which means you can book a private lesson. You can learn a little route.
Or work on that song too. Right?
Yeah, with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it together. Okay, last question.
Yeah. So another question from Kamako fan, and this was
Yeah.
during when we were talking about
Yeah.
performing live, I guess.
Yeah.
So is song preparation important for a set?
Yes, I mean with any. I mean, if you're gonna perform, like I as just like I said, from the from the point of view of an audience member, I hope you prepared that you worked a little bit like before your presentation. If what you mean by song preparation is in like, okay, I'm gonna prepare and this is like my song set list, like making a set list. Is that important? Yes and no, but also no, because if you've done like a set, like an hour set or half an hour set so much, you already know what songs that you're gonna do, and you're basically just kind of looking at the time and what fits appropriately for that time. But is it important? I think so, because even though I played a lot of 30-minute, 1 hour, 45-minute, 2-hour sets and stuff, I will still come up with a general set list, and I can just add or take out stuff as I feel like it during the performance. But yeah, I mean, as long as you're not just like fully winging it, like I would appreciate that as an audience member, right?
Well, the part of it too is in the set list preparation is, you want to be able to capture your audience, but there's like a story, a journey that you're taking, much like in the song itself. So if you blast them out with every high octane piece you have,
Yeah, right off the bat, or
and then it's nothing but ballads for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're gonna get tuned out.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. Hey,
Human ears,
what else?
Human ears can only handle that.
it goes back to that, like having the audience in mind, right?
Yeah. Keep your audience in mind.
Yeah,
See what-
and so even that, having a general set list and then reading the audience, right? What are they responding to?
Yeah.
And then
I think
trying to do something that will please them.
Yeah, and then going back to having music on stage and stuff. Somebody earlier, I won't bring up their comment, but like they said that that they have a harder time like remembering songs, like, and maybe they're like a little older or something. But I think the thing is, the more songs you learn, the easier it is to memorize other songs, just because you realize like, oh, it's kind of all
Patterns.
the same.
Yeah, patterns.
And it's patterns, and even if you don't memorize it perfectly, it's like, well, I can get close enough to just play it even. Yeah, so I think the same thing with the set list, right? Like you make one set list, you try it out, then you might try out another set list, and by the time you do it so often, it's like, oh, I kind of have a general set list, like I know where I want to start, where I want to end. Yeah. But the in between, I can feel out the audience, and if I decide like, oh, this song would be better, I can just put that in. It's not
Yep. The more
I would also actually say the opposite in that too. If you have any sort of like memory issue, trying to do this as much as possible will do nothing but help improve it.
It's true.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be super honest. I have that issue myself.
What, preparation?
No, like honestly, if I don't play a song for a while, like
Clear cache.
Exactly.
Right now, Mike.
Yeah.
But
I remember like when you played OP Man one time, like for the jam. And I was like, when was the last time you played it? And I was like, probably like 5 years ago or something. I'm like, I don't think I remember any songs they haven't played.
It's very hard for me to remember stuff like that. But then it's almost like you start it and then it pulls from the back of my head in there.
Yeah.
Like, so it will help too if you just do it enough. But then the whole point with you saying is like you gotta at some point trust in yourself to be like, okay, I'm gonna do it without the music and stuff like that, and just go for it.
Yeah.
And like all those complicated jazz songs, I mean, Chick Corea's band does it without music, but then I'm not John Patitucci either.
I think, and I always think it's like always the first time that you try to like maybe play without music that's like the most scary.
Absolutely.
But after you get past that, then it's like just gets
with
easier.
anything. I mean, I think just going up on stage for some people,
that
with or
first
without
time is
music,
terrifying.
But
I
then
can
after
see
you
that.
do it so much times, it's like, it's just the stage.
It's just a piece of wood.
No, I still get nervous. Like me and Kaniho were talking because I play with them on Thursdays and stuff, and both of us will always go and use the restroom before we start our start our show. And I'm telling them like the bigger the show, the more I go to the restroom before. Like even if I just went, like I will go 5, 10, 20 times. Depends how big the show is, to the restroom. And the bigger shows usually have like a dressing room for you.
Yeah.
And there's a restroom in the dressing room, but I also look for a dressing room near the stage area because as I'm waiting for me to go my turn, I'm always like, Aaron, can you wash my stuff? I'm gonna go use the restroom. That's a thing, you know what I mean? Like it's that nervous bladder that I have. It's
actually probably the other way, not to be, but it's more like you're so nervous that everything clamps down. So you go, but it's like, no,
I just think that like my body goes into such like anxiety that like everything just wants to abandon ship, including my my bladder. It's just like I'm just gonna empty everything out, So
one of my band director at the college has a like almost like a ritual where she has to go 3 times before the start of a concert.
Me is at least 3 times. That's like the least, Like I remember being backstage. They just had the Denver Uke Fest not too long ago, and like I remember being at Denver Uke Fest. Must have used it 10, 15 times, and like in preparation for like while the person right before us, like is on stage, and like me and Aaron are already like behind the curtain, like about to go in and go on stage and stuff. And I remember like, Aaron, can you watch this? And the bathroom was right there.
One more time.
And if I know the bathroom is right there, even more so that I'm gonna go. Because sometimes I'm like, nah, I don't want to like go upstairs or go like this far to go to the bathroom.
I can see it.
I'll just hold it
right over there.
If it's right over there, it's
right
like
there.
what is this? Their last song? This is not their last song yet. Yeah, I was like, okay, cool, I can go, and I go, and then come back. It's like, this is their last song, not yet. Okay, I gotta go one more time, Aaron. That's how it is. So you know what I mean? Like here I am talking all big with my game. Like I don't need music. But little do you know that like there's something else.
Pre-show jitters.
It's
jitters, man.
It's a different kind of paper that's necessary.
All right, since it's we advertise this as a birthday extravaganza.
Okay.
And we did like 5-10 minutes of birthday things, which is fine because people are not listening to this show for like birthday things. But now we're right at the end. How's your birthday today so far? What'd you do?
Before we do that, let's make this official. And this is now the open mic.
Open mic. I'm going to make you mad.
I don't care what you think.
All right, so now open mic with open mic. So let's just ask you a bunch of questions, man. How's your birthday so far? Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Happy birthday! What are you now?
Not saying.
13.
What number are we celebrating this year?
A number between 1 and 100 for sure.
But yeah, how's it?
Tired.
Tired?
I just finished 4 days of band camp with my kids at the school. So That's why I have no relative pitch right now, because all I hear is drum cadences.
Oh, that is like Emily's nightmare, right? Like just like we're talking about like Emily, which is Kyle's wife, who has the perfect pitch. It's like her nightmare.
Oh yeah.
But she said she taught like elementary school kids, so she's like, I'm fine with
I
it.
guess so. Like
you just let them go.
she practicing though. She did song preparation.
It's not even that they're playing bad, because actually they're playing really well. It's just so
No,
much.
don't worry. You can
and
say you can tell the
so-
truth. They're not watching. They don't watch the show. You can tell the truth. Mike.
That's not even true. Some of them do. Some of them
Someone
do.
watch the show. I
Yeah.
mean, they're great, Mike. What school is this?
Kapaa High School.
Kapaa. You guys are awesome. You guys are doing great.
Yeah.
No,
No,
for real,
it's
you
like
can
they're
say it.
playing well, but it's like,
You can say, Mike. You can say which student is not doing good. You can
but
say.
it's just loud.
I remember you
so
telling me
much-
about that one student. Whew.
It wasn't one.
That one student, Mahai Muryan. God, I hate that student.
First, let's just say Mr. KF. But a high.
No, I know. It was almost like it was a family tradition to stress me out.
But I mean, so birthday wise, like what do you usually not talk to an audience is that, but how's
definitely
your
not that.
how's your birthday with an audience watching?
That's good, man. I'm not a big birthday celebrator anyway. It's like
What do you usually do?
sleep.
I love that for you.
That's my birthday present.
That was
It's
my
like,
day yesterday.
Don't go, don't do nothing.
I was so happy. Like
My
yes,
parents will call me like, hey, do you want to go to dinner tonight? Oh, yeah.
like, yeah, my
Not really.
so
particularly.
like my wife, I'm always woken up because my baby wakes up at about 6:30, which is great because I have to bring the kid to school, so that's like my alarm and stuff. My wife woke up before the kid started screaming, just grabbed her, and then like I woke up yesterday for the first time in months at like 8:30, and I freaked out because like I looked over, my wife wasn't there, and the baby wasn't there. I'm like, what? Oh my god! And I
Robin
almost
Williams.
didn't know like what day it was, so I thought like maybe my wife like took my kid to school because I overslept. I'm like, oh my god! I felt super bad. And then like as I got out in the living room, they're like, happy birthday! I'm like, oh, that's right. Oh my god! Oh my god!
You know what you just described?
What?
That scene from Jumanji where Robin Williams goes, what year is it?
Seriously, I was like, oh my god, did I miss the thing? Did I oversleep? Did my wife send my kid to school? Like, I was so
Did
gone.
I
Like,
just blow the whole morning?
Yeah, exactly. I was but it was fine. Then had some spaghetti, which we're about to partake in right after this is done. You know what I mean? I know Kahai's been watching his sugar and stuff, but not today, but not for our birthday.
Not for
You
ours.
know? Kahai is gonna break his fast.
Yeah.
His sugar fast.
It doesn't count, right? On
It
your
doesn't.
guys' yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no. There's a rule. I think even Atkins said that. Atkins said that if it's spaghetti with hot dogs in it, doesn't count. That's not carb. I heard it. Atkins is like my good friend from like high school.
Not only that, I got you guys a cake too, so it's even worse. I'm encouraging it.
Yeah.
All right,
Atkins.
off the cliff. This
Timo Atkins. Well, he used to eat over at Paradise Grinds every day. That guy.
Oh my god.
Atkins said it was okay, but yeah, it's been a good year. It's been
I
a
think
good
so.
year. It's been a good year. I think this year is going to be even better. I think, Mike.
I'd hope so.
I
hope so.
not.
I hope it's always an upward. I always hope it's an upward trajectory.
Yeah, I think so. I think this year is gonna be good. Lots of things.
Yes.
But it's gonna be a good year for old Aldi. For Aldi man. I hope so. I hope it's good. I just like the birthday candles wish thing. It's like I know I'm getting old when I wish I just hope my kids turn out okay. Like, that's like my birthday wish. You know what I mean? I'm like I hope my kids do fine in school this my kid is fine in school this year and my little one grows up just fine. You're getting older because it's not like I wish for a bike or whatever. I blow up my candles. I wish for this. I wish for that. But it's like I I wish they do okay. I don't want to.
I wish for a day with no high blood pressure.
Yeah, I don't want to get a message from like her teacher, like, I was doing this or whatever. It's like, oh my god, I gotta talk to that teacher.
Pile drove a kid on the playground.
Like choke the kid out or jiu-jitsu moves. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what can happen.
Yeah,
But yeah, we're right on.
Or weirdly enough, so Sophie choked at a kid. Wait, it's always like 6 months old. It's like, I don't know, man.
Seatbelts on her. You know what I mean?
She just. She was just crawling on, and all of a sudden the hooks went in, man. I have no idea.
Well, that Kimura is looking pretty deep.
This is the best jiu-jitsu baby I've ever seen. The best 6-month-old. Now, we do want to talk about a little bit before we go. We are definitely way over time, but I do want to talk about some stuff because we're going away this week. We're going away. You guys got your wish. We're leaving. We're going to visit you, especially if you live in Washington, because that's all we're going. We're not going anywhere else.
So if you live in Iowa, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. We're gonna see you, and you as in Washington people. Okay, so Washington State, okay, not DC people. Sorry, we can't go that far. It's pretty far. Anyway, we're gonna be in Washington. We're gonna come see you in just a few days. Actually, on the 7th, we are going to be there. We're going to be at Edmonds. We're gonna be at the Edmonds Waterfront Center. Edmonds Waterfront Center. The details are below. You can get your tickets there. I'm gonna be doing a workshop, and I'm going to be doing a performance. So I hope to see you there. Okay. The next day, we're gonna be in Port Orchard. At Oceana Ukuleles. Once again, details below, so make sure you get those details. Make sure you know where to get them, because that particular show, Oceana does have its own built-in audience, and I don't know how much people they can accommodate. So, and they're not selling tickets, so you kind of just have to show up at that address. And,
email them for that address.
Email them. So make sure you get there, and who knows, because I think people might get turned away because it is like his backyard, and if there's
I feel like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I know it's definitely gonna be fun. It's definitely gonna be fun.
I think I'm excited for that show more than everything.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then so that's on the 8th. That's Friday the 8th. So Thursday the 7th, we're going to be in Edmonds. Friday the 8th, we're going to be in Port Orchard. Saturday, we're going to be in Seattle. Big one. That's the big one. Yeah, Seattle. I'm going to be doing some workshops alongside a bunch of other legends. Doing some workshops. If you guys want to learn how to speak Hawaiian or do anything Hawaiian culture wise, I'm teaching ukulele. There's another ukulele teacher there teaching music and whatnot. So if you want to learn some Hawaiian culture, look no further than the Seattle Center, because for Live Aloha, they're doing free workshops. All you got to do is sign up. Go to the Live Aloha website, sign up, register for whichever class you want to do, or register for all of them. Doesn't matter, because they're all free. Yeah, so register now.
I would, but I'm not going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, you could.
I wish I could.
If you swim right now, you'll get there in a few weeks. And then the next day, on the 10th, so September 10th, Sunday, we will be performing at the Live Aloha at the Kanilea stage and inside the Seattle Center. It's going to be tons of fun. We're going to be there, I believe, in the middle of the day, and that's all we're doing that day. So if you guys want to come, hang out with us, play some music, talk some ukulele, and well, I'm going to be playing a little bit at the Strum Tent, which is the Seattle's totally relaxed ukulele musicians. Where I'm going to be strumming along with them because they're awesome. And actually, shout out to Chantel and Strum, because Chantel basically set up this whole like other side gigs that we're doing in Washington. Tour. So the Edmonds Waterfront and Oceana Ukuleles, that's because of Chantel. And I also want to shout out to the Kahayalis. I always get tongue twisted whenever I say that, but they're amazing. They're the ones that put on Live Aloha. Thank you so much. The whole family, you guys have been super nice, super awesome, and great to us, and we're very excited and we're very grateful to be part of this amazing event that you guys are about to put up. If you guys have not been to Live Aloha, it is an experience. Like, as somebody from Hawaii, going there and experiencing it for myself, I feel like it's the best Hawaiian culture festival out there that I've ever attended. Like I've been to tons of ukulele festivals and Hawaiian things and whatnot, but I think the Seattle Live Aloha Festival is the best of them. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules.
You just made the
it's
endorsement,
good.
though.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's pretty
if
high
you go in and you see a huge, like, blown up manifesto of the people that said, hey, I don't want Hawaii to be a state. You know what I mean? That's like, whoa, are we gonna talk about this? Like, you know, that's a big talking point, you know, like, and that's all the names of the people that are like, no, Hawaii is his own kingdom, it's his own thing. We don't want to be, you know, a part of and those are the people that were brave enough to like, no, this is it. So that's like a cultural conversation. You know what I mean? Like that's that's the first thing that you see. You walk into Seattle Center, there's this huge manifesto that was up. I'm like, that is heavy. That is like you gotta be like pretty Hawaiian to like that. I was shocked. And
well, I don't think
it
was statehood, right? I think it was annexation.
Oh, annexation. That's what annexation. And like and there's people like pounding poi outside and making and pa'iai. It was amazing. And then like every single Hawaiian related food truck in the state of Washington was there. It was amazing. So if you guys want to experience Hawaiian culture at its finest in the mainland, it is definitely Live Aloha. Like, and I don't just say that just because I'm going to a festival, but like that one in particular, like the Kahaialis. Every time I say it, like I have a have a seizure. Kahaiali.
The K's.
It's like Kahaiali or Kahaiali. What is it? Kahaiali, right?
Is it
Kahaiali?
Yeah, Willie K's family.
So then just call them the K's.
The K's.
Yeah.
I guess
it's
so.
the K. And
yeah,
Willie
you know
K.
which K it is, right?
Yeah.
So
it's only one in Hawaii, like that.
that's the one. And yes, it's. I mean, I wasn't gonna mention, but since you mentioned it, it's Willie K's family, so you know that like they're perpetuating Hawaiian culture correctly. It's really such a treat to be there, and a huge honor for us to be amongst the list of amazing musicians that are going to be there this weekend. I'm so stoked for anybody who's going to be there.
And they're like 100% supporting like the
arts. Yeah,
and
the
that
artists.
and Maui relief,
Maui relief,
because that's their family is based there. So
I mean, there's nobody that talks about the happenings of Lahaina more than Willie K did. You know what I mean? Like, I think he was an ambassador to one of the best musical ambassadors to Maui. So
Hawaii in general, but Maui based. So
so if you're anywhere near, or if you can get to Seattle this weekend or Washington, please come out, and we'd love to see you. The more people come out to see us, the more we can come out and see everybody else in other places. Because if this one doesn't turn out good, we're like, oh yeah, maybe we shouldn't. Nobody likes us, you know what I mean? So hope to see you guys there.
Yeah.
Okay?
The only thing is the workshops. You just gotta register online.
You just gotta register. That's it. You just gotta register for the workshops. It is free. Okay. It's free workshops. If you want to learn how to speak Hawaiian, how to do some Hawaiian arts and crafts, play Hawaiian ukulele, whatever, that's it. That's sign up for it. Register now.
eat fresh poi.
Yeah, eat fresh poi. That's
Again, I do often say that because it's like people like there's a lot of
misconception.
Because a lot of people like,
It's so sour.
poi, it's like. And there's some people locals that love the sour poi, the fermented. Me,
It's time and place. Yeah, time and place.
fresh. The fresher it gets, the better. Man, there's nothing better than that. And it comes right off the
I
pounding.
think Kai's about to fight you right now.
As somebody who doesn't eat poi at all, I was gonna say you gotta eat it a little old because you need the penicillin, right? It's good for your gut biome.
I thought you were gonna like how we did last week where I talked about Suyoka's Lokomoko is better than Waipouli Deli's Lokomoko, and I'll fight anyone that says otherwise.
That is a tough one.
As a Kapa, you're a Kapa guy, right?
Yeah.
So,
But he's been to Suyoka's.
I have.
yeah.
I don't know that I would say the Lokomoko is better. I would say the burgers are definitely better.
Yeah. So in default, those are the same burgers you use in the Lokomoko.
But the gravy.
Yeah,
The gravy is
the
important.
gravy is just good. I mean,
I don't know what old Auntie at Waipouli Deli puts
I was
in
telling
the gravy.
Kahai that don't put
I'm throwing out my gang
corned
sign
beef.
right now.
Don't put corned beef anywhere near my Lokomoko because there's corned beef in that patty. Don't do it.
I gotta admit, actually, I like that.
Oh, see,
As a side-
and you're
as a
not
side
a
gig.
purist. We're talking about local mocos, not corned beef.
but not the
local
one, not the one over there, but the one I love. I can't have it anymore.
Oh.
But it was at in Oahu, Liki Liki. Liki Liki Drive-In's corned beef hash local moco was.
I will
next
actually.
level.
I'll talk about the
And fried rice.
Waipoli has as a
Corned
a
beef
local moco
local.
corned beef.
Yeah,
You can, and it's
and
good.
it's good.
It's good.
But like Liki Liki's was like fried rice, local corned beef hash with the gravy. and egg.
Sioka's all the way in the state.
I
In
was
the state. I'm gonna die on this hill. I think. Sioka's the best local moco ever.
I was
Tune in
gonna
next
get
week
you.
for a throwdown, a local moco throwdown. We'll
When
just
you-
bring them all in here and we'll just argue about it.
Get ready for when you come back and I have my Waipoli Deli shirt and
Okay, all right.
my Waipoli Deli shirt and I'm gonna have like a bandana and just be standing there like get ready to scrap.
All right, this is our very, very, very
Let's all
long
be real.
episode.
We're just a bunch of fat dudes who love food.
of the Ukulele on the Ground podcast. We'll see you folks next time. Happy birthday, Mike.
Thanks,
Happy
brother.
birthday, buddy. Yee. We'll see you folks next time.
Yep.
2 Mondays from now. Because next Monday we are flying back. We're not going to be here, and so we'll see you the Monday after. Open mic is gonna be the week after as well. But we will have Aloha Friday Live Jam next week, not this week. Next week. All right. See you folks next time. Enjoy. Aloha. See you there. See you at the conference.
The thing.
Thing.